quite a bit of background noise because, as you'll notice, around the world economies are beginning to reopen, people are going back to work, and there's great signs of progress. One concern that we've talked about on prior episodes that's been on my mind lately is if in fact there is some type of underlying endgame regarding outcomes of the pandemic that will lead to loss of certain rights for all of us everywhere. And one of those concerns is loss of rights of privacy. There's been a lot of talk about software companies pitching advanced spyware to governments that would allow governments to do what's called contact tracing, which is very important, obviously, when dealing with the pandemic, to know when someone tests positive who they've been in contact with, so you can essentially track them around the world. That's great. However, the concern is, will that be misused? How controlled will that be? Will it only be used for the purpose specified? Likely not. As we saw after 9/11, there are residual losses of freedoms to this day that affect not those that are involved in plots against governments, but just the average citizen from America experiences a whole slew of loss of rights and restrictions and oversight and potential surveillance based on residual fallout from 9/11 that affects people that have nothing to do with that type of a situation ever, and yet they've given up privacy rights in a very significant way. Recently there was an act that just failed by one vote that would have allowed the US government, the FBI specifically, to be able to, without warrant, have access to everyone's browsing history in America on their web browsers, which is quite a bit of loss of privacy rights there. It was a FISA type modification resolution, and it failed by one vote. Some that apparently were going to vote for it, such as Bernie Sanders, didn't show up. Don't know why that is. I don't know if it'll come back for another vote, but I bet it will. And if so, it looks like it would probably pass. That means browsing history would be available to law enforcement, all of your browsing history with no warrant, which means, I suppose, that it could be used for all types of purposes. And that is a big loss of privacy. So I wonder, in the fallout from the pandemic, are we going to experience what we experienced in the fallout from 9/11, which ends up affecting everyone in ways that we never saw coming in terms of loss of privacy? And I've talked recently about the concern, if the COVID-19 pandemic were in fact done intentionally by someone in terms of releasing the virus into the public, if that happened, just hypothetically, I'm not saying it did, would there be an end game? Would there be an outcome? And could that outcome be a whole nother type of virus? Could it be a cyber virus that affects our devices, our cell phones, everyone, everywhere, computers? And could it already be essentially installed and having made its way into all of these devices? I'm being attacked by flies and bugs and various things out here in the wilderness as landscape is going on all around me. But could this cyber virus, stealth virus, very sophisticated virus, go undetected for weeks as the coronavirus can in people, the biological form? Could there be a cyber version that's already out there everywhere? Well, I know that sounds like a conspiracy theory. I'm not saying that is the case, but of interesting note, last night I looked at my phone, my iPhone, and I realized there was an update available. And now, for the first time in my life, there is a pandemic on my phone. My iPhone actually makes reference, I don't know if you can see this, it's probably going to be upside down and sideways, and I apologize for the inability to show you this clearly. You can try to read this, and it's inverted, but you'll see the word COVID-19 at least. So this is in the new iOS update. You'll see the word COVID-19, and you have to think twice before you install this and read it and understand what it means. And I know it's inverted, but just wanted to kind of prove to you I'm not making this up. This is iOS 13.5, 397 megabytes. This is what it says. There's some good news in here we've heard about. iPhone users have had trouble because when wearing a mask, the new feature of facial recognition doesn't work when you're wearing a mask. Even if you use the kind of alternate appearance mode that it has, that might work with a hat and glasses, but it doesn't work with a mask. Well, interestingly, this particular iPhone model here doesn't have facial recognition, it just uses a fingerprint, and yet this is still the update. So here we go, let me read this to you. iOS 13.5 speeds up access to the passcode field on devices with Face ID when you're wearing a face mask. That's great, right? Of course, this doesn't have facial recognition, so I don't know that that helps me. But in any case, for those that do, and I have another iPhone that does, that sounds great so far. We've heard in the news this was coming from Apple, but that's only half the sentence. This is the part that worries me. And introduces the exposure notification API to support COVID-19 contact tracing apps from public health authorities. Let me read that one time. iOS 13.5 speeds up access to the passcode field on devices with Face ID when you're wearing a face mask and introduces the exposure notification API to support COVID-19 contact tracing apps from public health authorities. So, there we go. Basically, the new update includes an API that allows public health authorities to conduct some type of contact tracing. Now, I assume by country, by jurisdiction, the laws around that will vary, but it sounds to me like the new update, iOS 13.5, will let public health authorities, which in many countries around the world are directly tied in with essentially the top level government administration itself on a federal level and possibly on a state or regional level as well, it seems like it lets them track you. Now, if you have been in contact with someone with COVID-19 and this helps to address the public health emergency, that's perfect and great and beautiful and must be done. However, if that is instead used to find out where we all go and who we talk to and who we know, and if one of our friends is friends with someone else, and that third person detached friend, like we know on LinkedIn, everybody's 3 or 4 layers connected outward with everybody, it seems like. So if it's used to kind of put together a web of everybody that everybody knows, and if a friend of a friend has once said something bad about the government, now you're somehow lumped into this category of people that are against the government when you're not. And in some parts of the world that can be quite a serious situation, in other parts it may not be. But bottom line, I'm a bit worried about loss of privacy. Now, I did update this iPhone already, so this is a screenshot. It's already been updated. We'll see what's to come. And I've heard some assurances of different agencies saying it won't be used, in a way that's inappropriate and will just be used on a voluntary basis by users. But it seems like it's setting the stage for implementing a feature in iPhone iOS 13.5 that's kind of just snuck in there that allows authorities access through an API to contact tracing. Who knows where it will go next, but I think that should have been disclosed very clearly. Once you install this update, it seems that you are beholden to that possibility forever after with that iPhone, and it probably will come pre-installed in new ones, I assume, with new iOS. In any case, not sure what's happening with Android, just wanted to share that with you.